I'll start. Hello, everyone. Today we have Raj with us. He's one of the famous, like one of my top bucket list person to invite. He's building many communities and like he's very good with Web3 community. So let's hear from him as well. Hey, Raj.
Hey, hi, Dhruv. Thanks for
Yeah,
inviting me.
correct.
So
Pleasure.
thanks for the cool introduction. So hi everyone, this is Raj. So I was leading community at Facebook, and in Web3, my entire contribution has been around community. I've helped communities, I've helped them grow, and that was the only thing that I've learned in Web3. So now the topic for today, that is role of community in Web3, right? So what is the role of community in Web3? So it's just not about people, right? That in Discord server, if there are, let's say, 1 lakh members, that's not a community. There's a very absurd definition of community in people's mind. It's all about quantity, right? That if there are this many people in the community, that community is good. But in Web3, that's not the case. The number of people, those are audiences. They are not community. So now first let me tell you the basic difference between an audience and a community. So ideally, what an audience is a set of people. They just join you and you are selling them something. Eventually you will sell them something. That's what audience is. In Web2 world, in Instagram, YouTube, you find is audiences. There are very few communities. It's all about audience. Like these influencers will create their audience, will create a million followers on their Instagram. They'll eventually sell them something. So, and now cut to Web3. Right, in Web3, you don't sell to people. You take people with you. Right, people literally contribute to the product, to the project. That's what a community is. Where people are helping the project grow and helping the product to create new features, to spread the word. They are putting in efforts from their end. It's not someone else who is selling products to them. So that's what the definition of a community is. When where you are literally putting efforts to do something. So now why is it required in Web3? So if you know, Web3 in itself, it's very open. It's a decentralized system, right? It's a decentralized Web2. You can, if you make the Web2 decentralized, it is Web3. Now, when you decentralize something, right? So there comes too many challenges with it, and there comes too many responsibilities with it. Just like Uncle Ben says, with big power comes big responsibilities, right? So if you're decentralizing something, there are certain responsibilities, which is that now that you decentralized the product, you want it to grow. To grow that product, you can't do it as a team because the team will just burn out if they are doing it on their own. So that is where you need a community to actually grow your product, to actually develop your product. I am a big fan of hiring from communities. Right, that if you are developing a product, your next hires should be from community. So that is the kind of community you want in Web3. So how can we grow this community? That's still a challenge, right? Because in Web3 people are still looking for quick bucks. They are looking that hey, well, just Elon Musk will tweet something and we'll earn money from it. That's what people are looking for in Web3. Right? So that is the notion that I am trying to change around. That hey, Web3 it's not only about money. It's more about the community that you are part of. How strong that community is. How will that community back you in your bad days, right? I've literally seen people helping each other for their exams. Like it's not at all related to Web3, but then they're helping each other. That's what a community does, right? So BlueLearn, you could call BlueLearn a community because you're helping each other learn only. So even though it is not Web3, but it is still a community. So this is why communities play a huge role in Web3. The first being developing the product. But the next being right, like in ideally in Web2, you wanted to market a product. The usual things that you do is you do Twitter ads or Instagram ads, you do influencer marketing and everything around those paid ads. You might have learned these things, right? Like there are influencer marketing, email marketing, this, that. But in Web3, those things just doesn't work. Reason being, the Web3 ecosystem as a whole, it's like very small, it's very concentrated. So even if you want, you can't do those kind of marketing, because if you do influencer marketing, there are very few people, there are very few Web3 people who will be following those influencers. So it doesn't make any sense. So that is why you need a community of people who will be talking about your product, who will be reaching out to relevant people. Like let's say today there are 40 people in this conversation, right? So if these 40 people they learn about something, and now they all these 40 they go and talk with their friends, relevant friends, that hey, XYZ guy, you wanted to explore this, this is what this is happening over here. So come join. So that is where community comes in. Your community will spread word for you. Your community will do work for you. And in return, you will definitely incentivize them the best possible ways. So this is what a community should be. This is what a community is. So I'll quickly take a pause. If anyone has any questions to raise your hand, and I guess Dhruv will approve it, and we could have a chat.
Or someone wants to text, the Web3 channel is open, so you can text there as well. I'm looking to it as well.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. I'm excited to see these many people joining today. So yeah, while people, yeah, hi Mobile, the questions.
Yeah, hi. This is Moksh. You can you hear me, right?
Your voice is a bit messy, brother. Like, could
Uh,
you try
Sorry.
joining back?
Can Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. Well, I have a doubt about the NFT community. You said that it's about the community and everything. See, I think I'm an artist. I worked as an artist for some time, not in the Web3
Buddy,
space.
I can't hear you properly, buddy. Your voice is breaking in
Uh,
between.
can you?
Is it
Uh,
for me or is it happening for you also too?
yeah, it seemed for me. Mangul, you
Could you
can
type the? Could
text.
you type
Yeah.
it on? Yeah, yeah, please. That would be great.
Uh, we have
I'll
So
join
already.
from
yeah,
a different
yeah, please.
device.
Mhm.
Yeah, fine, fine. So Saksham is saying that there are many social media platforms. So isn't building community on Discord tough? As at the end, you are fighting for attention. See, that's what, my friend. You are not fighting for attention. You fight for attention when you are building audience. You want people's attention. But in web, in a community, right? You want people to contribute. You are not selling them anything. You want their attention when you want to sell them anything, right? That hey, in this 5 minutes I want 100,000 people looking at this particular message, so I could sell them something. But in Web3 you are not selling anything to community, because this community, right, they will literally help in grow your product and grow your credibility in the market. So you're not selling them anything. This guys needs to be super enthusiastic about your product already, or they should join your products community and then become enthusiastic about it. If not, they are like a not an they'll be a passive contributor in the community, but an active contributor is someone who will help you, so for whom you don't need to go and ask for attention, right? That's what a community is. That's where the challenge lies, in building a community where you don't need to beg people for attention. People will help you. There are communities where uh, people are literally helping each other, and they are like, if you are not active for let's say 1 2 days, people will care for you, that hey, what happened. So that's what a community is. Not someone who's asking for attention. That's the kind of people you want in a group. And now let's go ahead. Like how does it help in marketing a product? So if you know about Web3, Web3 is all about uh, earning money right now. So how will community help in earning money? So consider, let me give you an example. There's a token. For those of you who don't know, token is currency in Web3. So let's say there's a token, and so how will the price of the token grow, right? How will the price of token grow? If you know the normal concept of supply and demand, the price of token grows when there is high demand and consistent or low supply. So to increase that demand, what do? You give your token community utilities. Give your token, you give your community reasons to buy your token. So that is where it is really important to grow your community network. Because at the end of the day, these are the people who will be using your token. These are the people who will be talking about your token. And that will eventually help you grow the prices of your token. So this is proven that if you are having a weak community, right, your tokens or your projects won't pick up no matter how strong your product is, no matter how strong your vision is. You need a strong community before anything. I am a true believer of this concept called MVC before MVP. So for those of you who don't know, MVP is minimum viable product. That is your product with minimum requirements. But before that, what I am a true fan of is that you need MVC, that is minimum viable community. That is people supporting you from day zero. Even before you are developing a product, people should support you. People should help you in building that product. That is what you want. So yeah, that's about it. I'd like to take some more questions if you have any, since I see
Uh,
there are too many people.
I have a question key. If someone wants to build a community around their product, like they're building something and they want a community so that they can increase their marketing and their reach, like can you explain and like break down that process in a point so that a person can like go through all the 4 5 points and build a community? And yeah.
All right. All right. So to build a healthy community, right? First thing that you need to do is you need to identify what is your community persona. That is, what kind of people will be there in your community. It could be developers, it could be builders, it could be people who knows how to play guitar. So firstly, you need to identify what is your target community. So once you identify that, right, now you need to look where are these kind of people. So let's say if I want a community of developers, then I will look out for hackathons or colleges or these clubs like GSOC or Microsoft Student Clubs, IEEE and all that stuff. So, and now what I'll do is I'll go there, I'll talk about my product, and I will see who are interested, and I'll get them into my community, talk with them more. So get feedback from your community. Right? That is really important. Like no matter how good your product is, you need to constantly take feedback from your community. That is this what people want? Uh, that helps you in refining your idea. So once that happens, now your next step would be actually give people in community some tasks, some tangible tasks with which they could grow themselves and their skills. See, it is very important that if someone is joining in your community, you help them grow. It's a give and take relationship, right? It can't be that you are asking your community to do this, but then you are not giving them anything in return. It's a pure give and take relationship. It's not like an audience. For an audience, you just give them some content and you'll ask that, hey, buy this merch, buy this thing, buy that thing. And out of 100,000, even if 100 people are buying your hat. So that's not the case with community. You need to take care of your community. You need to think that, hey, this guy is having this problem. So what is the best way I could help to solve it? So that is very, very, very important that you care for your community and what people want from you. You need to give them that. Even if it is one person, right? You need to give them that. Because that one person will eventually be your community ambassador will be talking about your community wherever they go. So that will help you bring 100 new people. So making them happy is really important. I'll give you an example. I don't know if you heard about Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity is one of the best games out there. So one of the most valued games in crypto ecosystem right now. How did it grow? So initial days, right, Axie Infinity only 800 to 1000 members in their Discord server. But then the founders, right, the founding team, they were really close with this 800 to 1000 members. They would literally go on calls with them. They would identify where they are facing problems, where they could help the community, and that stayed that same way for a few months. But then all of a sudden, those 800 members, they became advocates of X Infinity. That is, they spread a good word. So right now, X Infinity's community is bigger than 100K members on Discord, and it has given enough wealth to all of its community members. This is how you grow a community. Because if you are building a healthy community, that will for sure help you. But if you are growing a shitty community, it will for sure drown your project. Can't grow without a healthy community. I hope that's clear through.
Yeah, I understand. I guess Mughal is back. Let me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible now? I should be fine
Uh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, please.
Yeah, well, hi Raj. The thing I wanted to speak to you about is a very specific part of Web3, NFTs. Well, I understand that communities, as you said, is important. I mean, communities have been important not from Web3 stage, but from, for some time now. I mean, if you are on a YouTube or Instagrammer, influencer, or basically anything, if I'm writing an ebook or something, communities are important, and I guess that is true. You are completely right. But as an artist, like in a Web3, I think Web3 has become more like a visual internet. We can interact with people now visually. We can see them as an avatars and everything. So the artists that were basically physically based, like someone like me and someone like others, are now coming out and showcasing their products. Like my art and everything on an NFT as an NFT. Basically people are coming, but and I also made an NFT collection, but I think that it is not sold, or it is not appreciated on the basis of its value, on the basis of its how would I say this, brand value. I mean, like how I made it. The thing that I saw with NFT space is that it is being sold for if it is hyped, or if it has an intrinsic value. So like, what am I missing? I mean, as an artist, I don't have like a lot of experience in tech, so I can't build a product. But but Web3 has given me a platform to come out and showcasing my product, but I can also sell it because I am not a techie person. Plus, uh, and I can't build a community unless I bring value to something. But the only value I can bring is make a digital art, make an art. So what am I missing? I mean, as a newbie coming into NFT space, what would you recommend? That is my question. Like, it's been like almost 6 months and I haven't uh, sold a single thing. And yeah, that's what I want to ask. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So see, that's what I say, right? Community persona. That is very much important. So for you, the community persona is that you want to sell something. So when it comes to NFTs, right? NFTs are really different than other Web3 communities. NFTs communities are different, DeFi communities are different, and normal Web3 product communities are different. So when it comes to NFTs, you want people who have that buying power to buy, and then you need to make enough noise about it because the NFT is all about hype. It's all about flipping your piece for higher valuation. Until and unless you are having a very, very, very good use case, very, very good people backing it. So when it comes to NFTs, then the concept is totally different. Right? So you need to first identify the persona that I'm building an NFT project. So then you need to develop your community around that. That now you can partner up with other NFT projects. That gives you people who are buying other NFTs. Right? You could give them whitelist if you know what that means, so that people from other communities will come to your community. And people are already in other NFT communities, they have more motivation to buy or sell something than me, right? Like I don't trade into NFTs because there are other reasons. right? So this is what you need to identify first, that who is my target audience, and then you need to serve for them. That's what I say. Community persona is the first step. I hope that answers.
Yeah, just last thing. See, like I'm going into this space. I am new to this space. I think it's not just my fear, a fear of lot of my friends too, who are coming into this space. They feel like the NFTs are basically hyped. It's a hype community and it's derived from the hype itself, not the art. Basically, I have seen like I mean, I don't know if I can sugarcoat it, but I can actually say that I have seen shitty art, and it's being
Yeah,
sold for
it
a huge
is.
amount of price.
Yeah, yeah,
And
agreed, agreed. See,
so do you,
that's how NFT project starts, right? NFT project starts with hype. Then once people start making money, that's when people stay loyal to that company. So
yeah,
NFTs are a different ball game altogether.
yeah. So the the fear the most people on the newbies basically like me have is that don't you think that it is like a bubble that will burst? I mean, I have given like almost 6 months, and I am, even if I given a try and give almost another year into this, and by the end of the year the bubble burst and like the hype just goes down, and I am left with a bunch of art that nobody is going to buy because the hype and all the bubble is burst. So should I go into this? Should I wait? Or you know because to be honest, it's just an art. It doesn't have any intrinsic value. It's not a product. It's just an art.
See,
So
that's
should I
what.
get into this space?
See, there's no right or wrong answer to this, but I'll give you my perspective. Right. So NFT, again, it's not just an art, right? It is, you can give too much utilities with this. You need to make some utilities, right? Like BAYC, when they launched, there was no utility, but then people bought it. There was enough hype around it, and now it's valued at millions of dollars. But that doesn't mean that every other NFT project will be like that. So it's I would compare this like similar to that you study in exam, you study for exam, you are even writing your exam, but that doesn't mean that you will top, right? Just because you are putting efforts doesn't mean that you will succeed, because the right effort matters. So same thing with NFTs. Just because you are creating art, you can't say, you can't expect that your NFT project will pick up. You need to put on right efforts that are needed for an NFT project. Again, audience persona is required, right? Once you analyze your audience persona, once you work towards it, that's when you start making. Firstly, you need to understand the ecosystem, right? You can't expect that I'll just make my NFT project and I'll start making money. That's It's not that easy. It's not that easy. I hope that answers the question.
Uh, yeah, yeah, it answers the question. Thank you. Thank you for your insights,
Awesome,
Raj.
awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Saksham has asked a question that there are many big organizations which are launching NFTs. So do they need communities? No, they don't need a community because they are already having a huge distribution, right? So communities for the projects that wants to that wants that are to be developed from bottoms up, so that you just have support for people. People are not knowing you, and you want their support to grow the project. But for these big companies, right, they already have the eyeballs. So for them, it's really easy. For them, it's a matter of execution than community. So we are getting towards the end. So I would like to take few more questions if there are any. Yeah, any questions?
Uh, yeah, I can go. Like, can you suggest some communities people can join and like get some benefits? Maybe
Uh,
DAOs are also considered in it. So anything you can suggest people. It can be anything like developer thing also works, design thing, anything. Just
yeah, sure. So see, again, communities. This is something that I'm building right now. I'm building a product that helps you discover which communities to join. Because it's really hard to identify which communities to join. So this is the same question that many people have asked me when I was part of Facebook. Many people have asked me the same question, that how do I join communities? So the simple answer to that is you need to go over their Discord, Twitter, Telegram, and see if they are vibing with you. But then this is not a very scalable method. So then I'm developing a product for this same exact problem, that how can you identify which community to join. So I would say stay posted on my Twitter. Uh, I'm launching it this week. So there will be a sexy announcement. There will be a really good announcement this week. So we want you all to join. So yeah, that's about it. You can join my Twitter and send me a hi over there. And yeah, there will be an
Uh,
announcement soon that will help you find which communities to join.
and we have some question from Saksham, and can you look up the chat, Web3 chat,
Yeah,
and see?
sure. Yeah, super. So for NFTs, it's all about money. Agreed. How to find early stage Web3 startup so that we can see that, so which is the community management. Yes, Aksham, that's a great question. So answer to that is, so firstly you join a community. So I'll tell you how I joined Facebook, right? How I became a community leader. So what I did was, I just joined Facebook's community. I saw that there are certain people, there are certain things that I could contribute. So I just started contributing. So after that, what happened was the the founders of Facebook, they saw some value in me. So they approached me that, hey, can you join us today? So it all started with contribution. So again, you need to contribute, you need to show some proof of work, and that will eventually land you a job. Another best way is just DM me with your profile. I will make sure that if there are any opportunities, I'll send them your way. Too many people asking me for community managers and everything. So that could also be done. But yeah, this is how it should be done. That you should first show that why should someone hire you. Once you show that, you name your price and people will pay. Again, to find such communities, right? That's what we are trying to solve. That how do you find such communities where you are interested? So yeah, I hope
Uh,
that answers your question section.
yeah, I think we have another question. Juice is coming on the stage. Let me invite. Uh, yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Uh,
Yeah, hi buddy. Hi.
Yeah. So we're talking about role of community in Web3. I just wanted to know your opinions on the Pornhub community.
Come on, I don't think this is the right place to answer that question. So I'll pass that.
yeah. Uh, if they're like someone wants to ask something, they can write in the chat as well. Uh, I guess no more questions.
Awesome. So if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Twitter. I'm most active on Twitter, so I share the profile. You could just DM me and love to chat with you. Awesome. I hope it was productive.
yeah. Thank you for
Looking
joining,
forward
Raj.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to more such sessions. Goodbye, guys.